So I'm making a second video. As I said, I don't really do this, but I've just found that I think this is the easiest way to just kind of talk things through. I've been having so many different conversations with so many people, so it's just a lot easier to kind of talk on video rather than trying to write this all down. Um, Basically, just in 24 hours, just having so many parents come forward um, to me and just sharing stories, and oh, my heart is just breaking. Basically hearing about other really good, well-known South Tampa schools that are apparently just cutting these services, just cutting ABA services, sometimes effective immediately. And it's just making me sick to my stomach. Like, these services are so important for these kids. And again, just having that constant, your buddy, that person that, kind of calms you down. That's your safe space. And like, again, like really just keeps them on track, keeps them focused, and gets them to be able to be successful in school, to be successful in social environments. There's so many wonderful aspects to ABA that can't be replicated in a clinic, that this has to be happening at school, surrounded by their same age peers in an organic environment that just can't be replicated in a clinic. And so having these, therapists by their side as something happens naturally and organically is so important. It's been the thing that has had, given my son the biggest gains. And it's just so upsetting. Like, if Grayson was in a wheelchair and I had to go, talk to a principal and say, hi, my son's going to come into kindergarten, he's in a wheelchair, is that okay? Would you approve that he can bring his wheelchair to school because he's going to need a wheelchair? That would be insane. Of course, it's assumed that if your child needs a wheelchair for his disability, that he's absolutely allowed to have that wheelchair at school. You would never say, I'm sorry, but that's kind of an inconvenience to bring an outside wheelchair into my school. I'd prefer if you just walk. Well, I'm sorry, my son can't walk right now like all of his other kids. Maybe later in life he'll be able to walk on his own, but right now he needs a wheelchair. And, for a principal to say, first of all, no, and just decline that, or to say, no, I know he needs a wheelchair, but instead we're going to give him some crutches. Well, crutches aren't good enough to support him. He's going to need a wheelchair because he can't walk, and crutches aren't going to do it. And for the principal to be the one deciding this, it just has to change. Like, it's unacceptable. Doctors have recommended ABA. I have licensed psychologists. I have neurologists. I have these, specialized people who recommend a certain amount of hours in order for him to be successful. So for a principal to deem that those hours are not necessary, on what grounds? There's no medical background and there's really no reason. And I haven't been able to get a reason. And so far the reason has been, I'm the principal and this is my school and this is how it will be. And it's just unacceptable. So I'm basically just kind of putting this out there, and I've been, kind of wrapped up in support by all the wonderful, amazing friends at the school. But just hearing about even other schools is just really, really heartbreaking. So I hope that we can do something to change this.